For the first episode of Searching for Solutions, I decided to bring on possibly the furthest away person I know. We've known each other for a few years now. We actually met gaming. It's Gavin from Canada. How are you, Gavin?
No, not bad today. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, Gavin, I wanted to start this off with you live in Canada. I wanted to know how is everyday life up there. I mean, price of living, energy costs, stuff like that. Pay.
Uh, well, it's hard to quantify pay comparably to you guys because obviously our dollars are worth so much more, but just kidding, obviously. No, so we get paid a lot more minimum wage than you guys, but our dollar travels a lot less further, so our price of living is relatively higher because of the inflated minimum wage, but then again, it is what it is. We get paid the money that it costs for us to live, but everyday life is kind of the same old. I'd imagine.
So you
Nothing
feel like
crazy.
you do make it to pass the paycheck with your dollar, at least to payday, and you don't feel like you have to get out payday loans and stuff. Like you guys aren't living in that situation.
It depends on your situation. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have found a job where I don't feel like I need to do that, and so currently I'm not living out of my parents' home just because it's pretty common these days up in Canada.
Even here.
Um, but when I was living out on my own with my girlfriend, it wasn't difficult, but it was paycheck to paycheck. Like it was, you got to really think about how far your money's really going to go. You got to look for those deals at the shopping centers. You got to be really smart with your money. Whereas in
Yeah.
previous generations, it was more of just make sure you have enough for rent, and then the rest is kind of figured out.
Yeah, I agree entirely. I mean, it's that way here now too, even. I mean, my parents told me all the time, they never really, I mean, they had to work things out financially, think through sometimes, especially around Christmas, but it wasn't as big of an issue as it is for everybody every day now, it seems.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I fully agree. I mean, I remember growing up, it wasn't as drastic. So, like, my parents were still paycheck to paycheck, but the difference is that they could still afford some of the nicer things. Whereas I know some people in my age group that are living outside of their homes currently and don't have the fortune of being able to rely on their parents. Let's just say for like, I know sometimes when I was living in my own apartment, I could come home for a dinner or something like that, just something nice, right? I know some people in that situation where they don't have close by family, especially students, because Ottawa's a pretty big school town. I think we have like one, two, three, four, maybe five post-secondary education installations. So people that are living away for school are like there's typically about eight or six, 5 to 6 people in a residence for like dormitories. So like not actually school provided dorms, but let's say you all are going to rent a house for the year because you're all in like the same age group when it comes to schooling. There's probably going to be at minimum 4 people in a house, and it's still going to be about 850 a person. Like the housing up here
yep,
is insane.
that's exactly how it was going to college for me. I mean, we were splitting houses 4 or 5 ways, and we were still paying 600, 700 to split it like that. And I mean, these were not nice houses by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they're definitely used to being rented out, and the landlords that run them definitely know what they're doing. I mean, they've probably been doing it a decent long time, and they know what they can get away with, and they know
Oh,
what they don't need
yeah,
to get away with, and
absolutely.
they take advantage of it for sure.
So with those kids coming out of university in Canada, do they feel like there's opportunity in their career path, or is it kind of like here where you may get the job if you have the in connection, but if you don't, you might just be out of luck.
It's I'd like to say it's very dependent on the degree that you decided to go for. So I know a couple of my buddies are going to school for business degrees, and I think business is probably one of the most like universally prominent degrees that you can go to school for, and they're finding jobs relatively easy. Now, I'm not going to say it's like super easy, but it's relative enough that they're not having an extreme amount of difficulty where they're waiting like I don't know 2 years to find a job in their actual field. But I do know certain degrees like psychology. I know there's a girl that's a friend of my buddies, is having just an extremely hard time finding jobs in those fields. So I think specifically for that question, it's very job dependent on what you are going to school for, and um, obviously if you have an in, it's a lot easier. But it's very job dependent.
I get that. I mean, I would say it's probably the same around here. I mean, obviously, if you're a doctor, I mean, there's so few doctors that actually are allowed to have their doctorate degree. I mean, that they
Yeah.
do find jobs, I mean, relatively easily, whether that's like the job they want, whether they're in a rural hospital or like a big city. I mean, that's a little less like for sure. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure like I mean, business even here, I mean, there's such an amount of people that are getting those degrees that I mean, at some point they kind of become worthless.
Yeah, that's also one thing that I was discussing with a friend of mine. I wouldn't say like recently, but in the past, probably the last year that I've discussed with him, is the devaluation of like degrees in general. Whereas before, a degree could get you pretty far in life. I mean, it was a piece of paper that could get you pretty far. Whereas these days, it's not just a degree that employers are really looking for. It's the skills that you attained with the degree, the extracurriculars that you did within high school, within the university that you attended, if you were an athlete, if you were on the debate team, if you did any sort of community service. It's going above and beyond past the degree. Then I think it's starting to really like turn people away from wanting to get these degrees, and also devaluing the degree as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, what that really sucks is that these kids, I mean, lots of them do take out loans. And I mean, it really sets you back because you can't, I mean, at least here in the US, you cannot default a student loan. So you have to figure out a way to pay it back or else. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is it like that way in Canada?
So the nice thing about Canada, and something I will say, and I think we're going to touch on it a little bit in the further on into the discussion here, is schooling in general doesn't not cost this to the same extent that it does in the States. So for a year of school, even at the and the reason for that, I'll go into a little bit more detail after I clarify this point. But so for a year of school, it costs about $2,000, maybe 2,500, depending on what you're going for. And if you're going for your master's, probably it'll be a little bit more.
Okay.
But and that's because all schools federally, I don't. I wouldn't say federally because I only mainly know about the ones in Ontario, which is the province I'm in. They're locked, so they're provincially locked to a certain price.
So what does that mean?
It means that they're all held to a certain standard, even if your school is abysmally bad, or if your school is the best school in the province. They're all held to the exact same standard, and they're all locked to the price that they can charge for tuition to these students.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like it's almost like an in-state tuition down here, but the government limits how high that tuition can be in-state.
Exactly.
Okay, I
Exactly.
mean that's actually that's awesome for you guys.
One of the main reasons that I do know about this is because there's a very renowned school within Ontario that my buddy went to, and it's called Queens. So Queens is probably one of the better schools Canada wide, and I would say it's definitely probably one of the better ones in Ontario. They caused a big commotion because they were wanting to raise their tuition because of how prolific their degrees meant. So if you graduated from Queens with a business degree, comparably to someone that graduated from, I don't know, Toronto University with a business degree, typically, and I don't have a business degree and I haven't graduated from either of the establishments, but what I've been told is the Queens one carries a little bit more weight than the Toronto one because of how prolific and well known and renowned the Queen's University program is in general. So they were very upset that they weren't allowed to raise the tuition because of how well their name has been carried.
So to be something like a they want to be treated like an Ivy League down here where you have to pay
Correct.
double the
Yeah,
triple
correct.
and yeah, I mean I figure that's ridiculous from my opinion, but
No, I fully agree. I don't think any schooling should be held differently. I think all schooling should be held accountable.
they're all
I mean,
the same
obviously that's
classes. I mean maybe the
unrealistic.
teachers maybe are a little more prestigious possibly. They have more notches on their belt, but
Yeah.
the classes are they're all the same guys.
Yeah, I've always thought that idea was completely ridiculous, but I'm also a minority in that opinion because, as I said, I have friends that have went to Queens. I have friends that have went to all different manners of universities, and apparently there is a difference. I think they're all on copium, but who knows?
Well, I guess that also goes into a little bit of like the taxes there. I know you guys pay a lot more in taxes, and I'm sure that can help bring the price down and at least stabilize it a little bit. Do
Yeah,
you do you find that to be like a good trade benefit, like a good trade off that you do have to pay more in taxes, but college seems to be a bit more accessible?
I think there's a balance that needs to be struck. I mean, the amount that we pay in taxes is quite frankly ridiculous, for lack of a better word.
Aren't y'all
Um,
over like 50% like income tax?
So it's dependent on tax bracket. So the way that we do
Okay.
it is there's a tax bracketed system down here. So it's depending on your yearly income, so your salary, and pardon me. So if you're above a certain degree, it can get up to upwards. I'm not fully aware on the situation. I could just be talking falsities here, but
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it can get up northwards of 45%
Oh wow.
of your. Yeah, I mean that's into the upper echelons of society here. I mean
And that doesn't
they're
even
making.
count that you pay roughly 20% in sales tax.
Yeah, so it's about 13% in sales tax, and
Okay.
that's
That's
actually
down, I
province
think, from when I was there.
dependent. So it's province dependent.
Okay, that makes
There
sense.
is there's a universal of, I'm gonna get my numbers wrong here. I think it's 10 or 11%, and then
Ooh,
each province dictates their own. So they can't go above 5 is what I'm assuming. I can look that up, but I think that's about that. And
I'll
then
trust
most
you.
stick around the 2 to 3 mark.
I think ours is 1% over national sales tax here in Florida. We pay
Yeah.
7% on sales tax. So, I mean, hearing anything over 10 is like, I mean, it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts the wallet for sure. I mean, knowing that you're going to go into a store, the sales price is $99, and you're gonna leave that store probably paying about 114 to 115 every single time is it's just unbelievable.
I mean, it's a little bit more math you have to add up before you go walk into the store, I guess.
Yeah, it's an extra little thing.
I guess another question about the taxes, the tourism tax in areas there. What is that? Why?
Honestly, I'm quite unfamiliar with that concept. Which area did you said you visited? Which
So
area
I
did you
went to
visit?
Niagara Falls like way back when, probably over 10 years ago now. But I remember we went into this restaurant, and I mean the bill comes back and it's 20% over what we were expecting, and they said in our province or in our area within the province, you have to pay a premium on as a tourism tax. Would that affect like everybody that is in that area, even if you were not, or even if you are a local? Because I mean, I mean, it was ridiculous, and I can't imagine going day to day like a 20% extra on Outback before the tip that was when it hit. It was like, this is an insane price for something I can get at home. I mean, half for half.
Yeah, no, I mean, I fully agree with you. I've never personally heard of a tourism tax. I mean, obviously Niagara Falls itself is a very, I wouldn't say like popular area, but for people that are coming across the border from the New York State itself, or people that are coming down from Toronto, I can maybe see it. But I also I've never heard of the tourism tax, so
And it
I
could have
can't.
been, it could be gone now. I mean, it's an awful idea, and I mean, I could see why you would do away with it because if everybody has to pay it, including the locals, there's no incentive to stay in that area. So
No,
then
no,
who works the resorts once all the locals are chased off? There's nobody. I mean,
yeah.
Florida without the people who work the resorts would not be Florida.
I mean, yeah, it'd make no sense to live there if you're paying tourism tax for a place you live in.
I just, I was wondering if, I mean, I guess you don't know, but I mean, I hope you guys have figured out a better way to collect revenue from people than a tourist tax. I mean, it even disincentivizes going there because you know you're going to have to pay more.
I honestly, I think it might be just for people that are visiting.
Okay, so I guess that'd make sense. Just tax everybody that's coming. It'd be like a, what is that? Like an entry fee, like in some countries almost.
Yeah, yeah, almost maybe. Yeah, like I said, I'm unfamiliar with the concept, but I mean that's as similar of an idea as I can put to it in my
Fair
head.
enough. So a little bit more about like life in Canada. What's like the energy cost up there? Like, is it? Would you say it is high? Like, what would be like an average bill for you?
I will say the nice thing about Canada is we're very hydropowered,
Okay.
um, and our energy in general is owned by the province. So there's provinces
Hmm.
where it are cheaper. My family is fortunate enough to own a cottage in northern Quebec, and energy up there is very, very cheap because it's primarily hydro, and a portion of Canada's energy is actually nuclear
We've
in
got a
certain
little bit of
areas.
nuclear
So
here, obviously. With AI, we're gonna have to step that up, but I mean,
yeah,
it does a little bit. I mean, it does a little bit of the work around here. Well, I guess
but yeah.
a
So I
majority,
mean,
but
we're fortunate enough that energy is not honestly a massive concern when it comes to our bill. The water itself, water prices are relatively high, but other
really.
than that, yeah.
Do you benefit at all from fossil fuels? Like I know Canada had at least had a big fossil fuel industry. I mean, we tried twice to get a pipeline, finally got it on the third time to get down here, but
Um, I honestly haven't looked into it in a while. I'll be honest. The last I heard, though, it was flourishing. I mean, I think that our oil fields are still doing relatively well.
are you guys
Um,
using that yourselves or is it mostly coming down here to us?
that I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the ins and outs of what's going on with our energy. I would know that we are still doing it because I have a couple of family members that are in the oil fields. But other than that, I don't know who is using our oil or what's happening. I would assume that that we're mainly shipping it down to you guys because we lack refineries.
Okay, that makes sense. I know a lot of like I guess Midwest and then into the heart of the country. That area uses a lot of Canadian fuel and there's lots of refineries like up in North Dakota. So I think it'd make
Yeah.
sense that we're probably using it. And I know you guys are a little more aggressive on carbons and stuff like that, which
Yeah, yeah, we have a heavy carbon tax that was implemented recently, probably within the past 10 years.
how does that work? Do you have any idea?
I don't really know. If I had to make an educated guess, I would assume they track your personal expenditure at gas stations
Oh
and
goodness.
take a percentage of that. I mean, it's mainly only on stuff that costs carbon. I think so. Primarily, I guess everything.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
everything's got
the
carbon. You're made of carbon.
well, not well,
Are they gonna
obviously,
start
but I think
taxing me?
I think what they mainly were shooting for is stuff that takes like shipping. So anything that gets shipped has carbon being used for it. So they're going to tax that. A lot of like imported goods, stuff like that.
I mean, that probably comes. That price comes at the pump, probably, doesn't it?
Yeah, most likely.
Well, now that we've talked, I mean, we've even got into this already, but U.S. and Canada trade. I mean, we are at odds. I was looking it up earlier, and the headlines out of Canada say the U.S. Canada trade war, and I haven't really thought of it as such, but I'd like to hear like your opinion on how, I guess, on the quote unquote trade war and how is it impacting like Canadians right now.
I would say for a vast majority of Canadians, including myself, I honestly don't feel affected in the slightest. It's just
Okay.
whatever. Just some American brands aren't available.
Such as I know
Um,
y'all had like a whiskey hiatus for a while. They were
yeah,
dumping
yeah.
whiskey out. Even I think I saw what was it, a Crown Royal, a Canadian brand. Somebody dumped out, and they said we're getting rid of the
That
whiskey. And I
was
was like, what are you doing?
we that person was clowned heavily. that
I mean,
was an interesting situation of that person thought he was doing something and he really wasn't.
yeah, that was. I mean, that was a slap to Canadians, and As somebody who lived a while in Kentucky, I mean, I know the whiskey industry is huge there, the bourbon industry, and I don't know, like, I can't imagine that Canadians are that much of buyers. I mean, are they?
I would say Canadians are very heavy drinkers just in general, and I was actually going to touch on that. The main thing that is affecting Canadians is the lack of liquor brands from American companies. So a common one that not I personally don't drink it. Obviously, honestly I don't heavily drink in general, but one that I've noticed a lot is because my girlfriend goes to the bar with me, and she used to order what was it called? It was some sort of shooter drink, and it included sourpuss. So a lot of people, we don't get sourpuss anymore because sourpuss is an American brand and it's not being imported.
I've never heard of that brand actually, and I've drank my fair bit. I'll be honest, but I've never heard of that. What is it like used in? You said it's a shot.
Yeah, it's a very sweet liqueur, I think is
Okay,
the
yeah,
term for
liqueur.
it,
Yeah.
and it's used in shots. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with it. I've had it a few times, but
So
not something I'm extremely familiar with.
I guess like the lumber tariff. I mean, 100%. That's probably really hard on certain companies. But what you're saying is the biggest concern of Canadians, or at least the Canadians we need to be most concerned about, are the drunks.
I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Oh my goodness, we are doomed. Canadian
Yeah, I mean,
drunk alcoholic Canadian raiding parties coming over the border.
wouldn't even be raiding parties. It was, we would just take over a stretch of your refinery. We would occupy, my friend.
I don't think so. And I guess another huge part of our trade relations between the U.S. and Canada would be cars. And I love cars. I mean, I think road trips are great, partially because I'm not a huge fan of planes. But I mean, how is that affecting you? I know you guys took a lot of our car business with NAFTA and such, but how is that? How are the car manufacturers doing up there? I guess I should say.
Interestingly, that I didn't know you were afraid of planes.
I'm not. I mean, not deadly afraid. I'd just rather not be in a steel coffin in the sky. It
That
makes
sounds like
no
you're definitely
sense.
afraid, my friend.
I'm not that afraid. I get on them all the time. It's just there's better ways of traveling. You can see the countryside in a car. It's much prettier.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I would say, in general, the average Canadian family actually drives import in general, anyways. So, like I would say, not. I wouldn't go that far. That might be a falsity, but I would say at least 35% of Canadians drive an Asian car. So something like a Kia, a
Ooh, Kia.
Toyota, Honda, something like that. So for like the vast majority of people, I would say we're unaffected. That being said, I personally am a Ford driver, and like my family all drive Fords, so we're a little affected, but nothing crazy. I mean, it's just a little bit of an extra price when it comes to stuff like that.
I mean, I thought a lot of. I mean, even Ford parts were made in Canada. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
mistaken. I knew at like a year ago, actually, the most U.S. made car were both Toyotas and Hondas. Those were the highest percentage of American made cars.
interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yes, we have somehow used NAFTA to get rid of all of our car manufacturing, basically to where imports were the new locally produced car, which I mean I found appalling.
Yeah, I've never heard that stat line in my life, but I mean, I can see it happening, especially with, in general, trade being cracked down upon under the Trump administration. I'm assuming, based on what you're saying, it wasn't done under the Trump administration that this happened, but I could see it if it hadn't happened, it would have happened as well. So,
Yeah, I mean we've had a hard time with cars. I mean the GM bailout back under Obama
yeah,
when he made them get rid of Pontiac, which was I mean Pontiac's fun. I mean I was kind of disturbed to hear about how that deal went down because of what Pontiac had promised. They said that they were going to go into Alabama, focus only on real rear wheel drive cars, which in Alabama in the South, I mean, that's all you need. You don't need four wheel drive. We don't get that much snow. So, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, those people would have those things souped up in the race cars before you even knew it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, so I think that, I mean, obviously that and parts manufacturing elsewhere, like the only thing that happens really in America is just putting the hinges on and putting all the pieces together. I mean, we really shipped off a lot of that over time.
Yeah, yeah. It is one of those things that, in general, it's cheaper to get it abroad. So, it sucks for the people that are usually working on them, so the employees of the companies that it's happening to. But
that's who it's the worst on every time. Yeah. Those, I mean, Detroit is a wasteland. I'm sure you've seen pictures. It is a wasteland, and that used to be where, I mean, cars were built. That was Motor City. I mean, now it's Methadone City more than likely, but we'll leave it at that. I mean, I'm not joking. It sucks to see how once the manufacturing leaves, a society crumbles, because it is the base layer that is your middle class every time. And once you get rid of manufacturing, you start hollowing out the middle class. They don't build back up instantly. You see people falling from upper class too. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Like, and then once you don't support the middle class, especially like over time, like obviously you can support them right away, but short term doesn't really affect it that heavily. And then, like you said, once you start not supporting it, the middle class just starts to disappear in general.
Oh, it turns into lower class really, really quickly, like it did in my hometown. I mean, once the denim left and textile manufacturing left, I mean, the quality of life around those manufacturing hubs, I mean, it dipped. I mean, it went from like managerial housing to areas that I would not walk around. I mean, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
So
not a fun area.
But I mean, I guess that hasn't really happened as much in Canada, given the fact that we've sent quite a few car jobs up to you guys.
I would say yes and no. So I mean, there was a vast opportunity for jobs whenever it was sent up to us, but there was a big shutdown. If I'm remembering correctly, I obviously I don't have all this information off the top of my head. It's just based on my memory, but I'm pretty sure in Oshawa there was a big big shutdown. Oshawa is kind of like our Detroit, but not to the same extent. I don't think. Like it's just more of a city, like more of a smaller city, nothing like Detroit in scale.
What province is that in?
Ontario as well. It's just south of me.
So probably pretty close to the border. Just ship them across real easy.
North of Toronto. So a little bit further than you would think, but not as.
I mean,
not as.
Still far. Throw it on a train; it'll get there tomorrow.
Yeah. But there was a big shutdown, and that was like our big manufacturing area. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if the jobs that you're speaking of. The only thing that I remember is people losing their jobs in that big shutdown. So
I mean,
I'm sure we have jobs available, but
I mean, the textile and furniture. I mean, that started going down way before I was born. I mean, we used to have the furniture market in High Point, right near where I grew up. That would have been twice every year. And within my lifetime, actually, one of those markets has been shipped off to Vegas because there is so few, just furniture manufacturers left in that area. It's more convenient if you're shipping it from China to have the show in Vegas, and then because it's closer.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
So, I mean, that's something else that, we've only lost one of two, but I mean, once we lose the second, I mean, what do those people do? I mean, not all of them want to pick up and go to Vegas to do furniture market once or 2 weeks out of the year there, and not many of them want to go to China to run a factory either. I mean, to be fair.
very very limited opportunities and options for those people that do get their industry moved in general, and then to have it shipped pretty much across the country is just absurd.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys have any like other large manufacturers? I know you've said cars. I guess pumping oil is big industry. I would argue. I mean,
yeah, it defines our entire western coast.
so
Yeah,
anything
probably
else
one of
that
our
y'all
big
are
ones.
really? I mean,
Honestly, we're probably the number one or number two, maybe behind you guys, exporter of lumber in general,
okay,
just
that
because of
makes sense. Yeah,
our
y'all have
vast
huge
expense.
forests.
Yeah. Clean water is another massive one because we are super populated with lakes. So Canada in general just has a lot of free water. Not free water, I guess, but clean water.
You can actually you guys actually get paid to export water.
Oh yeah, like crazy. Like we
That's actually
yeah,
impressive.
it's. I think I'm gonna look this up because I do want to be right on this one. Um, is Canada's number one export clean water? No, so our number one export is crude petroleum,
Okay, we've got that one.
but it is we make up 20% of the planet's freshwater supply in general. That's not just our exporting rates. That's just in general.
And
We
I'm
own one
sure
fifth
there's
of clean water.
places like around New York State and stuff that probably buy y'all's water just because.
I wasn't even thinking just the states. I mean, in general, just like the more arid locations in the world, especially the ones without the access to clean water. I'm sure we sell to their governments all the time.
Well, now that we've gotten, I mean, we talked about car manufacturing a little bit. I mean, there is obviously the intention to swap for some people from gas to electric cars. Before we get into that, I want to hear your opinion. What are your thoughts?
Listen, Canada as a country is massive. Obviously, the States is very similarly large, but for something like Canada, I don't think electric is feasible. In Europe, if they want a full convert, by be my guest. I mean, there's nothing stopping you guys. You guys can drive for 2 hours and hit 67 different countries. But for Canada in general, I think it's a lot more difficult, and there just isn't the infrastructure. I mean, not all gas stations have EV pumping stations, and
Oh,
there's
true
stretches of
that.
road, especially in northern Ontario, where you won't see a gas station for. Obviously, I'm going to use Canada measurements here, but you won't see a gas station for at least 100 kilometers, and if you don't have enough charge to make it, you're not going to make it, and it's just unfortunate. So, I think in general, Canada right now doesn't have the infrastructure for it. I mean, if we invest in it and we put a little bit of more money into our infrastructure, then sure, I have no issue against it. I mean, I think in general, the whole it's clean energy argument is really dumb considering the
Yes.
lithium mines, but
And the
we
coal
don't.
that they burn to charge the cars, like, are we gonna
Yeah, I mean,
ignore that?
it's not clean energy. It's not. It is what it is. But I mean, if we want to, I don't think we should go full electric. But I think if people that want to feel better about themselves want to go clean energy, they can go clean energy all they want. And that's we should just let them do it.
I agree. I agree entirely. If you want to do it, you can. What do you think about incentivizing electric vehicles?
Incentivizing how? Because I mean, if you're saying incentivizing
Like,
at
as
the
in they give
government
you
level,
tax refunds, yes, at the government level, like they had done here for a while.
I I think, like I said, if people want to feel better about themselves and create these fake arguments for themselves, and they're going to get a small tax write-off, then you know what? Go ahead. But I personally don't want to go through the entire hassle of installing a charger at my house, do whatever. I mean, honestly, I don't care. I use a car for point A to point B. I could drive the smallest garbage car in the world just to get to work, and it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But I mean, if I had the opportunity to have a free drive to work pretty much every day, I mean, I would. I just don't have the money to drop on a brand new Tesla, and I'm not going to buy some other garbage energy car because it's like the first or second generation wave of these cars that people haven't really tested in general. So
I feel that. My opinion on it is like you said, like, yes, if you want to feel better about yourself by using an electric car instead of a gas car in traffic, be my guest. I do not want to finance it for you. I don't want my tax dollars going to it because, frankly, I don't care. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and like you said, it is what it is to you, but you don't want to be paying for it. And you know what? I fully agree with that statement. I don't think there's anything wrong with
Because
it.
I don't get to ride that car, actually. I have my own. I don't get any of that benefit that you get, but I'm paying for your benefit. Even if it, I mean, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't change the pollution. It
Yeah, it
probably
doesn't really matter.
And those, I mean, the lithium mines, like you said, I mean, those things are destroying environments in South America. Sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
even
not doing
in Africa as well. I mean, I'd hate to know what's happening in China.
Yeah, yeah, I would be scared to know as well.
I mean,
I think the whole Chinese argument towards the U.S. and the whole superpower thing, I think is just probably the most misunderstood thing in the world. I don't think
it's actually
I just-
borderline hilarious to me how confused people are about that.
I'm not going to sit here and say China's not a superpower because it's just factually incorrect. I mean, they own the manufacturing of the entirety of the world pretty much at this point, and they're doing their own thing. But to say that they're an actual global threat is, at this point in time, I'm not going to eat my words 10 years from now and be like, sure, they're they're not a threat now, but at this point in time, I don't see them being that much of a threat. I mean, they're struggling to keep their own people in peace. I mean, they're not happy with their own
That's the
government.
big thing right now. I mean,
Right?
some of these guys just aren't getting paid for doing work, and they're burning down their own factories. They're that upset about it, and it's
You're
like,
not gonna
with that level of civil unrest, are we really that scared? I mean, yes, they have big weapons that go boom, but I don't even know if they work.
You can't fight a war on someone else's front and be a global threat when you can't even keep your own people happy. And
Yeah, they might just run off. They might just run off and join.
Like when you lead your armies. Yeah, when you lead your armies away, that your country goes up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now you have the entirety of the population fighting you. So at this point in time, I don't see the whole China big scary man thing. I don't get it.
Well, I guess we should loop back around the electric cars. I mean, we could go on about China all day. Maybe we'll come back to that at the end. Are you guys producing a lot of electric cars there? That was part of like our part of that whole like Honda and Toyota thing becoming so prevalent here is because they were gonna bring battery production to states like Kentucky and stuff, South Carolina as well, I do believe. Are you guys making a lot of electric cars up there, or is it mostly still like gas powered?
I would assume, now this is just based off my knowledge and what's happening, if we are producing a lot of vehicles in general, I would be cautious to say that it's electric vehicles. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just don't think that Canada as a whole would be producing those over regular vehicles at this point in time. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not speaking with any sort of experience here, but I would hazard a guess towards saying no. I think we'd probably primarily be focusing on gas powered vehicles because that's what the vast majority of people in Canada drive at this point in time.
And I guess we talked about for half a second the woes of infrastructure, but I mean I wanted to throw in the story here. I think we paid for 8 electric chargers here in the middle of nowhere at one point. And the cost, I mean, I can't remember if it was like I think it was 9 billion for 8 electric chargers in the middle of nowhere that didn't even work. I mean, some of them didn't even work.
I fully believe that. I fully believe that.
I mean that's kind of just an American thing though, but you've got to consider that when you're making the swap, like the ease of living goes, I mean, it makes it harder on you. You have to sit there and wait for your car to charge for 30 minutes at a supercharger when I can go to the gas station and fill it up in 3 minutes.
Yeah, but that also comes with the cheapening the price of the drive itself. So if you're going for long drives, or like I was saying in my personal case, if I was just going to work every day and my work is about 10-15 minutes at most, I am probably going to be saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every year by driving an electric vehicle. Now, that being said, I have a company car and a company card for gas, so I'm not in a situation where I'm overly worried about that. But had I been in that situation and I was looking at affording a new vehicle for myself, I would consider that as one of my main points to look into, right? So
Yeah,
it depends on
absolutely.
your situation. If Canada really wants to, like, Canada's probably, in my opinion, the biggest perpetrator of faking like you care and stabbing someone in the back. Like, they don't care. They don't give a crap about the Green Initiative, like, in the slightest. They just
Make
want to
money.
rinse us for every
Make
single dollar
money.
we have,
Yep.
and every single voter that has a kind heart, a bleeding heart, voted for it, being like, "Oh my God, I'm changing the world," when all you're doing is
We're
lining
gonna
someone's
save the
pocket.
polar bears that can't swim.
Yeah, like,
It's
it's
like,
just
come on now.
it gets to a point where you're like, do people genuinely think like this, or is there something wrong with me for thinking not like this? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like at a certain point, you're like, Uncle.
And you said like electric cars are much cheaper now. Here with the price of energy, honestly, and the price of gasoline compared, I mean, it's really not that much of a benefit. And I mean, obviously, when my main concern was the hindrance of 30 minutes of my life, I mean, obviously, the pros and the cons are pretty close. So, is
Yeah.
gasoline that much more expensive there? Like, what do you guys pay roughly?
So our pricing systems are obviously different because gallons and liters are
Yeah,
two
yeah,
completely
absolutely.
different.
That's what I was thinking.
But I mean, I don't know what you pay for gasoline, but at this point in time, I think I was driving home and it was 137 a liter.
We're a little under $3 a gallon right now around here.
So what's the gallon to liter conversion?
Oh goodness, I was hoping you knew that, smart Canadian.
I mean, I can look it up, but I think
I'm
it's
doing it.
probably about three gallons.
3.78.
Yeah, so 3.78
Y'all are
times
paying a lot more
135.
than us.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
was gonna say, like,
bad.
you
That's
gotta really look at
bad.
that, right?
Yeah,
So those
that
people that are driving 30 minutes to work every single day are gonna be like, well, I could just charge my car overnight for free. Not for free, but like I said, our energy costs are very low comparatively because of our considerably less expensive energy compared to you
yeah.
guys, and all these other factors. I mean, it comes to a point where you're like, okay, well, at this point, it might be worthwhile to get an electric car. So in Canada, I don't think it's worth paying the people to, like you said, tax incentives. I don't think it's worth it. But I mean, if they wanted to do it at this point, we're getting taxed so much, people wouldn't even fucking notice.
We wouldn't even know. That's
We wouldn't even
awful.
notice.
Another question I have, so with hydropower, are you guys like ever worried like infrastructure wise, like how long do you like have to wait to replace that? Or how long
What
can
do
you
you mean?
wait, I guess I should say. Cuz like I mean those turbines don't last forever. Dams don't last forever. Like do you ever
No,
get
we
a
just
little worried like we're going to have to fork over a big bill to fix this one day?
honestly, I think that's the least of the government's worries, because I mean, I think they, at this point in time, I think they might even offer incentives for turbine and hydro dam engineers to go to school, because I think Canada is hoping to focus on clean energy in general. So I don't
Like,
think they're
don't
really
do
worried about
wind.
it.
Wind is not clean. It is, I mean, you
Yeah, wind is
literally,
horrible.
I mean, you spend all the carbon to make the one turbine that you actually save with the turbine. It's an absolute abhorrent
Yeah,
process, and those things break all the time, and they end up in the ocean floating around, and it's like, what did we fix here? We're killing
it's
marine
a net
life now.
it's a net equal at this point. So I mean, I agree,
Bodying
but I'm
all
just
the
saying
birds. The birds.
it's a net equal. But I mean, like I said, I don't think Canada is overly worried about the costs of fixing a few mistakes when it comes to our massive investments in clean water, hydro energy. So
See, this is why I want to do nuclear around here. It's more effective. And I'm not worried about the. No, I'm kidding. I'd really be upset if we had a Chernobyl like disaster, but I mean, we've tested out all these different types of reactors, ran reactors here for 50 plus years, and had 3 Mile Island in which nobody died. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see it as a such a big issue as a lot of people make it out to be. Such a boogie monster. Like, I think we're gonna actually need it, especially given everybody's push towards using AI. I mean, those plants. I mean, almost take an entire nuclear reactor to run.
Yeah.
Data center.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know too much about AI in general. I'll be honest. I've lacked using it in general because I'm through school. I don't need it for the job that I do, but I have heard that
AI makes you dumb.
the energy requirements are apparently quite absurd.
Oh,
So,
they are. I mean, the energy and water. I mean, if you guys value your clean water, I wouldn't do it either.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I mean, it's making communities in rural towns filthy and poor. I mean, the thing is, you get a data center, right? And it's like, oh, that's this huge investment, and it's going to bring all these jobs. Those jobs are temporary. It's only to build it. Once you built
yeah.
it, it's like 2, 3 guys walking around in there. You've gotten 3 whole jobs for a
I have
town
actually
of
done that job. I have
forty
done a job
thousand
similar to
people.
that. There was a job that I worked at one point where I was a maintenance worker for a big government building, and one of them was a satellite server room. I can't
Probably
obviously
can't
disclose
disclose anything about that,
Yeah,
but
no, I can't disclose it, but I will say that
we
it
probably
didn't
already
create
know
them.
about it down here. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm sure you guys do, but there was like 6 people that manned the station, and there was 3 guys that would go on rotation, making sure that everything was working properly, and we didn't even handle the server maintenance, so I had another 3 guys to make sure the servers were running properly. It probably took 50 people to build it, and it takes 10 people to monitor it. Like, it doesn't actually create jobs. It just
Yeah,
the fake create jobs.
it wastes your energy and it wastes your water. It brings up your water bill. It brings up your gas bill. I mean, it's really a scam for the people that get suckered into it. And I feel sorry for them because these are lots of communities that are dying for jobs, and they hear that 200, 300 number and they're like, "Oh, give me. I need that." And then once it's said and done, it's too late. I mean, it's built and it just eats away at your town.
Yeah, I mean, if you're struggling for jobs and you hear that big number, like you're saying, it's almost a no brainer. But then, like you say, it just destroys the environment around it. So it really is a net loss. But for that short term, while you're the mayor or whatever it is, it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it might get you reelected once, but then once everybody figures it out, I think your
yeah,
political career is pretty over.
yeah. Once you get that, once you get the return tour, you should probably start going corrupt and taking some deals because you're you're not gonna get reelected.
So another thing, I don't know how you'll ever got reelected on the people that started it, healthcare in Canada. I mean, I don't know how people get reelected around here given our healthcare situation either, but I mean, obviously you guys have quote unquote free healthcare. You pay for it. It's done through taxes.
Yeah.
How effective is that for you guys? I mean, I've heard of long wait times for hospitals. I mean, but we have those here. I mean, you can wait 2, 3 hours to be seen at an emergency room. Is it worse?
I mean, rather than answering your question outright, I'm going to give you a little story. So my girlfriend slipped in the shower. She smacked her back. She was worried that she wasn't worried about a broken spine. She could feel everything, but she was just really worried that she did some internal damage to herself, maybe some internal bleeding. Nothing
Some
super
disc
serious.
damage or something, you know?
Something like that. It hurt a lot. She wanted to go to the operating room, like, or not the operating room, but
Yeah.
the emergency. And I was like, listen, you know how long this is going to take, and I'm not going to spoil the story, but I'm like, listen, you know exactly how long this is going to take. And she's like, I know. I'm like, okay, if you want to go, we're going to go, but just know I'm going to be waiting here for X amount of time for absolutely no reason because I'm almost positive you're fine, but like a supporting partner, I said, sure, let's go for the drive. Sam, me and her waited there for 6 hours.
Oh my!
We were in
Is
that
that before
room
you got
for
seen?
6. So we got triaged.
Okay.
Probably about 30 minutes in, and I will say
30
the
minutes
triage,
for triage is, I mean, that's borderline a criminal offense, but continue.
yeah. So we got triaged relatively quickly. I mean, that's decently quick. Not the fastest I've ever been triaged, but it's not the slowest. And then we sat there for another 5.5 hours just for the doctor to say, "Yeah, you're totally fine." So
I mean, she could have
like
put
you
ice on it in the waiting room and got out there just fine, probably.
yeah, probably, but she was worried, so I sat there with her. But like you said, like we pay for it in taxes, it's free, sure, but you pay for it in your time. You sit there for 6 hours for something as small as, like you said, just a smashed back, nothing crazy, nothing life altering. And that being said, though, I have heard some stories. I have a friend who has a partner who has some heart complications, and they're always relatively very quick with her.
Probably
So
because they're like borderline dying all the time.
right, but it's I guess it's just dependent on your situation. So I guess in her situation, the urgency
So it
is
sucks for
obviously a little
healthy
too demanding.
people.
Yeah, and I mean that's just borderline how it's going to be everywhere, right? Is
Yeah.
if you're going for a routine checkup or you smashed your toe and you know you need surgery on your toe because you broke your toe or you need a cast or whatever they're going to do, you're going to sit there and wait for a broken toe. But if you have heart palpitations or you lacerated one of your largest veins, like your, oh, I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. It's been a long day, but you know, you get what I'm trying to say. Your jugular, like if you
Internal
lacerate your
bleeding,
jugular,
yeah, I get
yeah,
that.
like
Or external bleeding for that matter.
yeah, exactly. You're gonna get seen pretty quick. So it's a catch-22.
I guess one of the big problems here in the US is people that don't understand what emergency services are for using emergency services. Does that play into it at all in Canada?
I would say yes and no because in general, right? When it comes to Canadian hospitals, there's nothing really open past a certain time that isn't emergency services. So you kind of just are forced to go to emergency services,
I'm
which is
talking
bad.
about going to the ER for like an upset stomach or a sneeze. Like we actually
Yeah,
have people that do that here,
and we have people that do that here
that's
too. It's just one of the
absurd.
things. Yeah,
I mean, I guess obviously that factors into the wait time some bit, but at some point, like people have got to understand, like those things you can like just wait until the morning, and sometimes they resolve, and other times you just make an appointment at 9 o'clock when the doctor opens, and sometimes they can see
figure it
you
out.
that day, maybe the next. I mean,
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
I mean,
It's
but
just one
I've
of those
heard
things.
stories of people around here, well, not even or just around here, but across the country calling in ambulances for tummy aches.
Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing with Canada is our system can be abused because we don't pay for a lot of things.
That's what I'd be worried
So
about extremely in Canada is like people calling ambulances for tummy aches. Like you've got to realize that these are emergency services and they are finite. If the ambulance is taking care of your tummy ache, it can't respond to a car wreck.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's one less ambulance on the road. That's like for an actual severe case.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's tragic, and I mean, obviously, your healthcare is quote unquote free, but I'm sure, I mean, they take a little bit more out of the government's money or the coffers to pay for just silly things like that.
The person that I was talking to, specifically about the wait times in Canada for this kind of thing. My friend's partner, she went into healthcare. I forget financing or something to do with
Management, probably.
it was like the monetary evaluation of healthcare in general. And one of the things she said is when we were talking, I brought up that the amount that we pay in taxes, if we move to the states comparably, could be used and put towards privatized healthcare, and put towards the best privatized healthcare, so we wouldn't
Oh,
even have to wait in general.
do you even have an option for that in Canada?
And that's what she said. She said, right now we don't, but we're moving
Wow.
towards a system where we can provide like nothing super serious where you can't just like skip a line because you have more money, but like think of something like a hip replacement. It's not like life critical, but people with money will skip the line because they have more money, and they're starting to open privatized clinics so people with money can skip lines, and pay these privatized health clinics a little bit of money so they can skip lines, get faster reception towards the doctors. And I thought about that. I'm like, that's really shitty because only the people with money get the benefits. But then you think about it, like,
it frees up everybody too, though.
Exactly, right? Because the people that have the money are just going to skip out on
do it. They're going to say, I don't want to deal with that because they have the money to spare, and they want the best for them, and it turns out it kind of helps everybody from the bottom too.
Exactly, because there's going to be less people ahead of them that are waiting for this hip replacement surgery. So the people that need it more and can't afford to skip the lines are going to get seen faster, and they're going to get treated faster. So it's kind of just like a bottom up approach. And I didn't really think about that for a sec, but then she explained that to me, and I found it very interesting.
I think y'all would benefit a lot from that. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it might even be as good, if not better, than our system here, where people do have those like upper echelon type hospitals that they get to go to because they have those high paying jobs, the good health care that comes with it.
Yeah. I mean, but then there's also for the people that obviously can't afford that, there's the people that have the free option, which is really nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think there's any case where you should be not treated at the emergency room. I mean, if it is a life-threatening emergency. I mean, if it's a sneeze, they probably should turn you out, but that's my opinion. But I don't want to see a society in which we turn people away at the door who actually need the care. Like, if you stumble to the hospital with a gunshot wound, I would expect them to fix your gunshot wound, or at least make a way that your gunshot wound will get fixed that day. Right, I mean, within a reasonable amount of time before you pass. You know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I mean, even
typically there's not too many gunshot wounds in Canada, but
stuff happens. You might have like a moose on the loose, and
I guess that's fair enough.
A little misfire action, hit the neighbor. He's drunk. No, I'm kidding. Nah, but I mean. That's a real concern around here is gunshot wounds, and I mean, yes, I want everybody to be able to be treated for those. I mean, if the shame happens that you are shot, I want you to be able to be treated and not left outside the hospital to die. That is cruel. That is evil.
Yeah, it's inhumane in general. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of words for that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we kind of touched on healthcare. I mean, I think you guys are actually working towards a much better system. If what your friend has told you is true, I mean, I think that'll help you out a lot, and we could probably take some notes down here, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, she also brought up the UK healthcare system, which is it's free and it's fast. But the thing with it
I've heard issues there.
It's unfortunately there's cherry picking, right? So it's everything is paid for by the government, but if you're an unhealthy candidate or if you're an unhealthy patient, sometimes they won't take you because you could cost them. You could cost them money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is insane. So like you said, they'll just like obviously specifically gunshot wounds are different.
Yeah, but
like an elderly person.
Well, they got to be worried about being shivved.
Yeah. The London greeting, of course.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so it's a little bit of a different case, obviously, but you just got to look at everything in general and just.
I've heard there's selective over race there too.
I haven't heard that one personally, but I fully believe it. I mean,
I've heard you're treated differently depending on your race there, which is also, I mean, I think
absurd.
Absurd. I think that's actually against the creed that all doctors take getting into the field, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, probably, yeah.
They agree to serve everybody the same, treat everybody equally. If you are starting the cherry pick based on things as trivial as race in the medical field, you have bigger issues. Like you or not, you don't have bigger issues. That is your issue. That is the main one, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's if you can smash them all together and create the best version of all three of them combined, I mean, that's what you should do. But
Costs a
obviously,
lot of money, probably.
exactly, it costs a lot of money.
I guess it's better than China's. I guess we'll loop back into that. I mean, China as a superpower. I know you guys in Canada seem to be cozying up to China a little bit, which obviously here in the US we're worried. I mean, we're worried with that. I mean, China allies on your doorstep is not anything you want. We're experiencing that with Mexico right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Or is that something that is just like a current prime minister thing, or do you think that is something you'll continue, like a relationship you'll want to continue with China?
I think it was a previous prime minister thing that carried
Okay.
over into the current one
Yeah, makes sense.
because of the fact that they were on the same cabinet, so the relation kind of remained. I think it's also could be like I could be speaking out of line here. I'm not going to say that I am in general a centrist. I believe that both sides have equal opinions, and we should take everything as best that we can. But I do think that the Liberal Party in general typically aligns himself more with the nature of China in general. So,
I
mean,
don't
time will tell. But
understand. I don't understand how you guys, as a capitalist society, could align yourselves with China in any reasonable way. But I mean, I obviously here in America, we're trying to pull back from China being basically the person that makes everything we get, and I mean, basically our
yeah.
bank account right now, the U.S. is damn near $40 trillion in debt. I mean, that money doesn't come from nowhere, and there's not many countries in the world right now with money to loan us, or countries that will loan us money. I guess we got like a check from Qatar and a check from the UAE on Trump's most recent tour. But I mean, a couple $100 billion doesn't sustain the U.S. economy for, I mean, even a year.
No, it wouldn't sustain it for very long.
No, I mean, we're at $1 trillion deficit a year at this point. So, I mean, we've obviously got to start working our keep back. We've got to, I mean, earn our own keep on this earth. We can't be the person who just takes handouts from everybody, or eventually people will stop giving them to you and they'll start asking for things in return. And
Yeah.
I don't want to find out what those are, because it's not going to be money. It's probably going to be labor. And
Labor or favors, or like turning a blind eye to something.
yeah, something
it's not gonna be-
atrocious. Like, I mean,
It's not
likely,
going to be good.
yeah, it'd be something like letting them go and take over Taiwan or something like that. And we can't even let that happen, because of that would be even more manufacturing that we would never be able to claw back with semiconductors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to claw these things back. I mean, even from Taiwan, and I think it's good that we would have like semiconductor ability, or the ability to make semiconductors here in America. But I mean, if you lose that technology and I mean just China takes it over, we aren't going to get that back. They're a
No,
lot harder to
no, not at
infiltrate than we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that just comes with being a communist country.
Yeah, I mean,
They can say
everybody,
they're
I mean, there is
democracy,
the
they do
party,
whatever they want.
and then there is everybody else, and we would be part of everybody else. They don't know us, and they won't give us anything. And that's that's got to be like a growing concern here in America with, I mean, just the general population. I mean, you look at Russia, I mean, yes, they have nukes, but they're struggling to defeat a third world country right now in a war. So,
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call Ukraine a third world country. They're probably
developing,
second world.
developing.
Yeah. I mean,
But you
I
also
actually
don't
just
put
recently-
bioweapons facilities in first world countries. That's just not a thing. So,
yeah, also fair.
I mean, obviously, yes, like Red Dawn was a great movie, and we can be scared of the big red boogie monster in Russia, but they're a democracy right now. They actually held elections, unlike Ukraine, and they seem to be at least relatively capitalist, more so than China.
I mean, I saw a commentary recently, and I was just like, Russia used to be the big scary boogeyman, like you were saying, until the Ukraine thing kicked off, and then I think
Everybody realized all their machinery is so old. Like they're riding in like World War II tanks. Like these things waved at Winston Churchill.
Yeah, like they're not. I wouldn't say they're not to be scared of. Obviously,
Yeah, I mean they are. They are.
I'm in a first world country. I'm not in a combat zone. I'm not going to sit here and
Absolutely.
say that my life is hard, but they're not the same superpower threat that the world thought they were.
No.
Probably, I'd say about 3 to 4 years ago.
All you have to worry about with Russia is whether they're going to nuke you or not. And as long as we can keep the tension down below that level, I'm not concerned about them. I mean, they aren't always great actors. I mean, I don't think they always have everybody's best intentions in mind, obviously, but I also don't think that they're, I mean, on the verge of storming the beaches in California. That is just
No, not even
that
remotely
is,
close.
or going into Alaska even. I mean, they're not gonna do it. They can't. I mean, to establish a beachhead in America at this point from them would be, I mean, it would be civilizational suicide for them, honestly.
Yeah, I mean there would be a couple states over in Europe if that was the case. There would be some 53rd and 54th state. I think you're 52, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we need to start getting our state numbers up, their rookie numbers.
Yeah, I mean I think if they ever tried that, there would be some new states forming in the eastern side of Europe.
Governor Carney. I'm kidding.
No, I'm saying I think the U.S.
I have my eye on 51. Don't worry, Gav. Nah, I'm kidding. But I guess back to China. I mean, I do believe that is the 21st century boogeyman. If you want to give anybody the title of boogeyman, it's got to be China. I mean,
yeah, I would agree.
They're out there testing nuclear weapons. I mean, they have biolabs. We know it. It's where COVID came from. So, how ignorant do we want to act towards it? I don't
think ignorance is the right play. I don't think ignorance is the right play in general. I think we need to just sit down.
We need to be cognizant.
A united front. I think we need to sit down as a united front, and unfortunately, with Carney and Trump in office, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think the West as a civilization, maybe even throw in Britain in there or the EU if you really want to, and just sit down as a united front and be like, listen, we do not want you at this level. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think they'd listen. I think what we'd have to do literally is claw back business from them.
Or just tell them to open their borders. Open their borders to reporters and journalists, and allow.
That's never gonna happen.
Which, like I said, it's a long shot.
Way too many human rights abuses for them to ever let that happen.
Yeah, but human rights abuses in the eyes of the West, right? So,
well, they've killed over 1 million Muslims in Western China. So, I mean, you can't really open up your borders to let that be broadcasted.
Yeah, but I mean, when did it happen? Where are the bodies buried?
In mass pits outside the prisons.
Right. So does it matter if you can't prove it? Right.
Well, we can. They're on satellite.
Oh, well then it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually, I think where I saw it from is a Canadian watchdog of China. And they have I think I've sent it to you before. They have all of these prison camps, like marked on satellite images, and next to them, I mean, there's pits, and there's freshly dug ones, and there's freshly filled ones all the time. So
yeah, it's horrifying.
It is horrifying, and I mean that's obviously part of the reason they can't open their borders. The other reason is because, I mean, they can't let people know that they aren't paying their workers. That looks awful too. I mean, I remember when I think it was Nike, I think that's who it was, got in trouble for underpaying workers in China. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I know what you're saying.
So, I mean, if Nike got caught, I can't imagine who else is doing it.
Yeah, I think it would be an absolute nightmare for any American company that's
Like, I'd
operating
hate to
over
know
in
what
China
Puma's
with
doing. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say anything. Puma, I love you. But, all right, I guess we'll get off China. I think we beat it like a dead horse.
Yeah, probably.
I guess like the last question. I know it's been in the news around here. I think you said it had been in Canada, but the U.S. strikes on the cartel in the Caribbean Sea. How does that look from an international perspective? Because I can give you my opinion on it, and you might not like it. But I mean, I'm just
Are we
wondering
talking cartel strikes
on the
as
boats.
in? I don't have too much information on the votes. I have seen the social media presence of the crackdowns of illegal immigration, so like the ICE operatives and stuff like that. And honestly, this may be a hot take. This may be controversial in some sort of way, but I believe like legal immigration is the way that countries should operate in general. So
Absolutely.
I don't think anyone that's not supporting ICE. I just think they're in the wrong. Unfortunately, like they're just not understanding or they're
I'd agree too.
protecting people. But then again, like you're protecting people that entered a country illegally, which could potentially take away jobs from legal citizens, and
It does.
it's just not a good look.
And they say, "Oh, who's gonna pick the fruits and stuff?" Riddle me this, all right? If you get, I mean, you sat 10 engineers out in a strawberry field, and you said you guys are gonna pick all these strawberries. I mean, they would have a machine that picks strawberries faster than anybody's ever seen by the end of the week, just so they wouldn't have to damn do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just it's the cheapness of labor, right? And then especially when you're an illegal immigrant in general,
But it's
I'm not saying this is the case. I'm not saying this is the case, right? But if you're an illegal immigrant and the employer knows that, they're not going to be paying you the proper rate. They're
no,
going
they
to be
don't
paying
pay
you
you
under rate.
well, and you don't pay taxes on it either.
Exactly. So the employer is getting benefits from it. The employee is getting taken advantage of severely because they know they're like under their thumb. Like they understand that they can't say anything because if they say anything, they're gone. They don't exist in this country anymore. And it's just a backwards way to do business in general.
And it
I don't,
negatively affects every single other person that is able to do that job.
yeah, yeah,
I
100%.
mean, it takes away, I mean, you can call me wrong if you want, but kids used to pick strawberries and they used to get paid for it.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, it's not, I mean, I hate to break it to you, it is not backbreaking labor. It's difficult and it's hot, but it's not going to kill them. And I mean,
Also, like
a lot of kids,
it's
I mean,
not
used
a
to be able to
lifetime
save
job.
up to, no, it's not. It's a seasonal one. You do it in the summer while school's out and you save up for a bike. That's how I've heard from my parents, my grandparents, everybody before me. And now there's this like argument that it's better to like almost bring in like a subclass to America to do all these jobs because people aren't willing to do them. And I find it, I mean, it's
Is it's wrong on the people's front. Like, why are you not willing to do these jobs and you're letting people that shouldn't be in the country legally to do the jobs that you should be doing in general?
I mean, it even goes all the way back to, I mean, even the healthcare thing. These people can't get healthcare because they're illegal. You can't get
Yeah.
healthcare through your company because you're not on the company's payroll technically. I mean, so it just eats into society in just the most negative, heinous ways. And I mean, you're not even going to change my argument that the first step they took here illegally was in fact illegal. So we started off
Yeah.
breaking the law. I mean, I'm a law and order guy. I hate to break it to you. I stop at crosswalks until the walk guy comes on. Like, I'm pretty boring, honestly. I don't jaywalk. I stop at the stop bar before I roll forwards to make a right turn. Like,
There's a difference between being boring and doing the objectively correct thing, which is following the law. Like,
yeah, and I guess I mean that also goes along with my philosophy on like the broken windows policing. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
No, I don't. I've never heard of it.
So essentially, the idea is there is no crime too small to be punished. If you have a broken window on a building, if you see somebody break that window, you need to punish them. You need to arrest them and have them like charged criminally because they have committed a crime. Because once somebody sees that you can break that window, somebody else might come up and break that window, or the one next to it. And then you get this downward slide. I mean, I'd say it even starts with littering. You see somebody throw something out their car window, and then the next person doesn't use their turn signal because, the cops aren't around. And then the next person decides the speed. And then the next person goes, oh, they're speeding, I'll drink and drive. And then we just get to this degenerate point in society where, well, the last law is not much worse than this one. Like, I can break this one too. And I mean, how far can we push these things? Because I don't want litter in my water. You guys like your clean water? I like my clean water. I like fishing. I hope that when I go back to my fishing spot that the fish haven't choked on a plastic bag.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, all of these quality of life crimes, they add up in the bigger issues, and then you have cities like Chicago where the homicide rate is like, it's a war zone. I mean, the numbers are up there with Iraq and Afghanistan, apparently. Like, you cannot have that in a civilized nation. And if you go back all the way to the bottom of it, it's people doing small things like breaking windows, jaywalking, and then the crimes get bigger and bigger. And I notice it here. I notice it in every city I live in. It's a progressive trend, and it's a backsliding trend, and it never seems to get any better.
No, and it's when society starts disregarding laws, no matter how small, like you're saying, stuff does start to just backslide in general.
And it gets more dangerous, and it gets more expensive. So, I mean, what benefits do you actually get from not making the person stop littering? I mean, imagine if your whole life could be changed by the first time you ever decide to litter, you got a $50 ticket, and you were like, damn, that sucked, but I know people are watching me now. And you live your life a little bit differently. You start to think that there are consequences to your actions, and there really are. There needs to be.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I guess we got really far away from the cartel strikes. I was wondering.
We went pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my initial goal in that was from the outsider's viewpoint. You're a Canadian. I don't know if you've seen the missiles being launched into the submarines that are apparently for fishing. Riddle me that, but I mean, how does that look to outsiders? I mean, yes, they're not given a fairer trial, but I mean, also, if you don't stop that boat, there's thousands of overdoses worth of drugs on it. I mean, which life are we going to value more as a nation, I guess is my opinion.
I have a hard time either way, right? Because there's arguments both ways. The one thing I will say is the fact that there was a submarine from a not U.S. based thing, and by thing I mean naval base, instantly raises red flags whether that was cartel or not. Like,
you don't go under the water. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
The best case scenario. The fact that was a cartel sub is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario, that's a spy sub. That's a nuclear missile sub. Like,
they're all good.
There's so many different. Right. So it's you're either gonna try to communicate with that, tell it to stop. If it doesn't stop, it's still in your waters. You're gonna shoot at it. I mean, who are we kidding here?
These are in international waters, to be clear, most of them. But also, okay. I guess my other point is why would we risk the children of this country and the military's lives to board these boats with likely narco-terrorists? Like,
Yeah, I
why
mean
would we
that's
put
that would be stupid.
a 19-year-old kid in that situation to hop from his speedboat onto the top of a submarine to then clear it out and hope that there are no guns on board, no knives, no way that he gets attacked, no way he falls off. Like, I mean, there's a lot of risk to going and actually trying to stop these. And I think that's like my main concern is, I mean, if you kill one narco terrorist as opposed to say 10,000 civilians from drug overdoses, or maybe four Marines or Navy crewmen in a shootout on a speedboat. I mean, yes, it sucks. It sucks that it had to happen, but it had to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it had to happen, it had to happen. There's nothing more that really to speak about.
So, I guess from an international perspective, you kind of wish you'd stop them, but
It's to a point where a submarine is a submarine
yeah, yeah.
in my eyes, right? Like it could be a narco submarine, it could be whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
still a submarine, and obviously you're saying these are international waters, which is fair, whatever. But
Along known drug trafficking routes. So,
like,
throwing
what are
that
we
in
doing?
there.
Yeah, like what? Like why would we risk lives to board this when we can just blow it up? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I guess I wanted a little bit of reassurance that we didn't look like the most evil people in the world, because I can assure you that there are plenty of countries worse than the U.S.
No, I mean, I don't think I'm not gonna say that it's not frowned upon because
Oh,
sure,
I'm
there's
sure
gonna be
it's
those
frowned
people,
upon by everybody just because it's the
but they're
U.S.
trying to they're trying to enter a country illegally to distribute life altering in the bad way drugs to your population of
And
people.
we've had a disastrous time the last, what, 40 years, 50 years with drugs.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had crack in the 80s. We've had, I mean, going into the 90s and 2000s, it switched over to heroin. And now we're on to fentanyl. Like, are you kidding me? When does it stop? When do we make it stop?
it's not going to.
I mean, I think it can. There's obviously contributing factors to the rise in heroin, such as the oxycodone thing with the
Yeah,
Sacklers and stuff. I mean, the overprescription of oxycodone in, I mean, rural areas, rural Appalachia in particular. I mean, that the Sacklers should be behind bars until I'm tired of it. I mean,
yeah,
but I think, like, given that we've witnessed this for so long, I mean, there is a point where you get tired of it. There is a point where you're like, I'm tired of hearing about fentanyl overdoses. I mean, people are tired of losing their best friends, their children. And, you know, there's there is a price to pay for that, I would argue.
I agree. I agree. I think I think people, like I said earlier, just have bleeding hearts and they value, I would say, human life a little bit more. Not that they should, but more than is worth it, considering that they don't consider the bad parts of other people's lives that these people could have affected, right?
I mean, I guess going forward, what would you like? Would you recommend the U.S. stop? I mean, how would you change the approach at all? Do you think you can change this approach?
I would argue it's very difficult to change the approach that
Yeah, I
they're
guess
doing.
given like submarines and go fast boats, I mean, yeah, it is kind of difficult. You're right.
Kind of difficult in
I mean,
general,
if it
right?
was as simple as just building the wall, I mean, yes, I support the wall. Hate to break it to everybody. The wall is good. But it isn't that simple because they're innovative. These are innovative people and they will figure out a way to get the drugs here, and that's why we're dealing with go fast boats and go fast submarines, is because the land route's closed.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So,
just they're figuring out different ways.
It will get in.
Yeah, they're figuring out different ways to do what they were always going to do,
Yeah.
but just in more creative ways. So, I mean, it is what it is. They're going to do it, but I think there should be strict consequences for attempting to do what they're doing. So,
I'd absolutely agree. Well, Gavin, first episode of Searching for Solutions. Thank you.
yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
See you again soon, man.